Marty can do the dummy launcher. And one thing that's important when you start doing the dummy launcher, you're not going to have the dog wait for the retrieve. You just get them to start going and getting it is enough. To get the dog to go out at any type of distance, you don't really want them to wait at first. You just want them to have enough drive to go get it. And that's how I train all the dogs to do this. And I have Marty out here because Marty will have a tendency to not pick up that he has to stay for it as good as Bowser. So I want to use the dog that's going to screw up for the demonstration. He's going to get this. He'll get it. He'll definitely get it. But one thing that I'll do to start telling the dogs, do I have a leash? Yeah, I have a leash. Hang on. One of the things that I'll do to start explaining to the dog that they need to wait for the retrieve is I'll put a leash on the dog. Marty, here. So I'll put the leash on the dog, and then I'll work with them with the starter pistol so that they're hearing that sound, but they know that they have to wait to do the retrieve. Sit. So I'll do something like this. Then I'll throw a bumper. Marty, hold. No, hold. Hold, you got it, dude. Come on. Good boy here. And then I'll repeat this sometimes until the dog's really picking up. You have to keep using the leash. Your leash is your #1 tool for training. Without the leash, your dog's going to be a mess. Are you having problems with your dog? Do you have problems with your dog in the house? Do you use a leash in the house? There you go. You're just unrealistic. The dog's not a mind reader. They're not. Marty, heel. So we'll do it again. We'll do a retrieve. That's a very big bump. Here, get over here. Sit. It's a very big bumper for a little dog. Marty, hold. Hold. Good boy. You're a good boy. Whoops. Oh, I dropped my starter pistol in the snow. So we'll do that for some sessions, and then we'll break out the dummy launcher. And the dummy launcher, it'll be the same routine as that. We'll put a leash on the dog. You have to use a leash to get your dog to do this. And if your dog isn't doing this, if your dog is not staying for the retrieve, the dog's just hauling ass, whether you're using a dummy launcher, a frisbee, or whatever, you're screwing up. In other words, the frisbee, the dog always has to come back at heel. I usually have it sit, and then I release it with okay, and that tells the dog they could be out in front. If you do anything other than that, you're conditioning the dog to be excited. So that's no good. So we put the leash back on Marty. I got the leash back on Marty. Sit. And I want him to start staying for this. So it doesn't matter if he hears the sound and gets real excited and moves. I'm going to put him back at sit, and he has to sit before I release him. They'll start picking up on this. Sit. No, sit. Marty! He doesn't know where it went. He's got it. He's got it. He's my main man. Good boy, Marty. Here. Hold. Come on, buddy. Heel. You're awesome, man. Heel. No, heel. No, bring back at heel. Sit. Drop. You're a good boy. So we'll do it again. Same thing. We're going to put a leash back on Marty. I cannot stress this enough. If you're having problems with your dog, do you have a proper leash? Do you know how to hold the leash proper? There's a proper way to hold a leash, and unless you've been taught to do it, you're going to have problems. Marty, come here. Marty, here. Is there knots in your leash? If there's knots in your leash, you're a fool. You don't know what you're doing, and it's not going to get better. It isn't. It isn't going to get better. Get a leather leash and start training your dog. And if you don't know how to hold your leash, I have videos on that. If you can find somebody to give you instruction, that's even better. After a board and train, I swear to God, it takes a minimum of 3 days for people to pick up the leash. All of them. All of them. I trained this dude that was a young guy, a basketball player. He was having trouble with the leash. It took him about 3 days. It's everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It's going to take 3 days to learn the leash, minimum. It's the same thing. I want Marty to sit. And you'll notice, like, each session, like, say you do three retrieves this time, we'll come out later and do some more retrieves. Each session, there's, like, less energy built up in the dog, and they stay in their position. So, you know, dog training is repetitious, and don't expect, like, miracles with the first session. But if you're consistent, they get better with every session. So let's see if he does better this time. I want him to sit. And I'm going to remind him, I'm going to reinforce right before I do it, I'm going to say, no, sit. Marty, sit. No, sit. I'm reminding him the leash is on, sit. Now that was clearly a dud, but it doesn't matter. We're going to take advantage of it. Marty has some problems here because we are working in snow and it's covered in ice. He just doesn't want to pick it up, and this is very common. But it's important that I stand my ground and make sure he picks it up.
Pick it up. No, I know.
It doesn't matter. It's just some ice. Get used to it, Marty. And he will. He'll go get it. See, a refusal. But I stand my ground.
No, you gotta get it. I'm not going to get it.
Go pick that up.
Hold.
Bring it back here, Marty. See, he's proud of himself because he did pick it up.
Come on, Marty. You got it, dude.
He's a good boy.
You got it. You got it. Hold. Good drop.
When it gets caked with ice, it's difficult for like a small dog like this to pick this up. But I cannot stress this enough. Just stay on target with the dog and they will start picking it up. If you put a dud in, it's no big deal. So it only goes 10 or 15 feet. It doesn't matter. We still accomplish something with that retrieve, even though it's difficult for him to pick it up with ice on. Let's do it again. Sometimes when you do this and you have a real amped up dog, they're really gonna take off. So know that. Don't get hurt. You could hurt your arm. They could pull you over. If it's a big dog, definitely. You have a Labrador or something, you might want to do a tie down at first. Maybe put a stake in the ground and tie the leash down to a stake. I'm not kidding, man. If you're long lining a lab or something, it's got a lot of energy and it starts running, it'll knock you over, you'll get hurt. So be careful, but it's really important that you get your dog to stop doing this. Using the e-collar isn't going to be helpful. It isn't. The e-collar is not used that way. It's used for conditioning. That's it. So if you want your dog to, you have to use delay with retrieves. You have to make them wait. So let's try it again with Marty. See if he starts picking this up. Here, Marty, here. Heel, sit. Go straight. No, sit. Mean it. No, sit. I'm gonna give him a real short leash. Sit. I'm gonna leash flex. No, sit. Sit. You know, actually, I'm gonna use a starter pistol. Sit. Sit. No, sit. Good boy, sit. Now, if the dummy launcher, if the dummy gets snow inside, there gets moisture in it, it won't work. So we're gonna go inside, we're gonna dry it out real good. We'll come back out and we'll continue working with Marty on what we're working on right now. You also could, if I had some gun cleaner I could spray in there, which that's what I'll probably do, spray some gun cleaner in there, dry it out, WD-40 would work. Just let that evaporate, you'll be good to go. It's a drag when snow is around. It's harder to work with the dog and the dummy launcher. Slows things up. We have the dummy launcher all dried out. Now we'll go back to what we were doing. And I cannot stress this enough that just stay on target with this. You have to use a leash to get the dog to stop doing this. If you think that like you're gonna use the e-collar and not the leash, they're not. Hurry up, Marty. Marty's gotta go to the bathroom. Hurry, hurry, go potty. It's not gonna go real good. You have to use a leash to get the dog to quit doing this. Like I said, if it's a big dog, it's a real strong dog, and they've already, you know, they're like hardwired to keep doing it the same way. So if you've been, hurry up, dude. Marty, here. Marty. So just make sure don't get hurt. If you're gonna try and step on the leash, no, you know, if it's a real big, powerful dog, they're probably gonna rip the leash out from under your foot. Just be careful. Here. Marty is no problem. He weighs 9 pounds. So it's the same thing. I'm gonna do that. It's the same process. I'm gonna do some leash flexing. I'm gonna tell him no, because I know what's going on in his mind. And it's more difficult to do this because the projectile's coming out. But if you use the starter pistol, it really helps, which we're going a little bit faster just for the video, but we'll break the starter pistol out this afternoon too, and we'll work that. Here. Marty, sit. I'm leash flexing. I'm reminding him that the leash is on. Marty, no, sit. Sit, no, sit. Marty, hold. That was awesome, by the way. That was real good. Come on, Marty, here. You're awesome, dude. That was awesome. Here. Come on, heel. That's not a heel, but we'll work with it. Now, that was sort of a dud, so it wasn't real loud, but that's okay. That's all right. If you're using your launcher and you get some duds, it doesn't matter because it's going to cause less excitement. And the more your dog continues doing the behavior that you want, the more it becomes their general behavior. So let's try it one more time. And it's sort of wet. I don't know if we're going to get it to work, but we'll give it a shot. Here, heel. Sit. No, sit. Now Marty gets a little confused here because this one went so much farther. It actually worked. It was not a dud at all. And we'd been getting duds, so he goes right to about the distance that the duds were going. But he's a little confused. He comes back, right? He's looking at me like, where is it? And so I walk out just a little bit, and I meet him, and then I'm gonna give him the command again, and he's gonna go get it. It's not a problem. He's just sort of like, where is it? It's supposed to be here. So see, I walk out just a little bit, send him on his way. Not a problem. He just started doing this, man. He hasn't been doing the dummy launcher long, but look at how far the retrieve was. It was a very, very long distance. Look at him. He went to go get it. He's awesome. It's a very long retrieve. He was confused. Usually, the dogs go to the last place that the dummy launcher went or the retrieve was because of smell, and so he got a little confused, but he did it great. And he stayed in position. He's staying in position. Marty, here. Good boy, dude. Nice job. Heel. Get a heel. Sit. Drop. That's real good, man. See, it's full of water now. That was surprising that we got one last one. We'll try it one more time, but I don't think we're going to get one out of it. Marty, you want to try it again? He says he wants to try it again. He's doing it. He's doing exactly what I want him to do. But we're going to put the leash back on him because remember, consistency is what pays off in dog training. So put the leash back on him. Marty, here. Marty, sit.